Yah Scriptures, the first book of Adam and Hawwah, Adam and Eve 1, chapter 43. Then Adam and Hawwah were afraid and stood still, and Adam said to Hawwah, "What is that fire by our cave? We have done nothing in it to cause this fire. We neither have bread to bake nor broth to cook there. We have never known anything like this fire, and we do not know what to call it. But ever since Elohim sent the keruv with a sword of fire that flashed in his hand and had lightning coming from it, we fell down and were like corpses from fear, and we have not seen the like. But now, Hawwah, look, this is the same fire that was in the keruv's hand, which Elohim has sent to keep the cave in which we live. Oh, Hawwah, it is because Elohim is angry with us and will drive us from it. Hawwah, we have transgressed his commandment again in that cave, so that he has sent this fire to burn around it and prevent us from going into it. If this is really the case, Hawwah, where shall we live, and where shall we flee to be away from the face of Yahweh? Since like it is with the garden, he will not let us live in it, and he has deprived us of the good things of it. But he has placed us in this cave in which we have endured darkness, tests, and hardships until at last we have found comfort in it. But now that he has brought us out into another land, who knows what may happen in it, and who knows but that the darkness of that land may be far greater than the darkness of this land? Who knows what may happen in that land by day or by night, and who knows whether it will be far or near, Hawwah? Do you think it will please Elohim to put us far from the garden, Hawwah? Where will Elohim put us to prevent us from beholding him, because we have transgressed his commandment, and because we have made requests of him all the time? Hawwah, if Elohim will bring us into a strange land other than this, in which we find consolation, it must be to put our souls to death and blot out our name from the face of the earth. Oh, Hawwah, if we are further alienated from the garden and from Elohim, where shall we find him again and ask him to give us gold, incense, myrrh, and some fruit of the fig tree? Where shall we find him to comfort us a second time? Where shall we find him so that he may think of us regarding the covenant he has made on our behalf? Then Adam said nothing else more, and they kept looking, he and Hawwah, towards the cave and at the fire that flared up around it. But that fire was from Satan, for he had gathered trees and dry grasses and had carried and brought them to the cave and had set fire to them in order to consume the cave and what was in it, so that Adam and Hawwah should be left in sorrow, and he should cut off their trust in Elohim and make them deny him. But by the mercy of Elohim, he could not burn the cave, because Elohim sent his messenger to the cave to guard it from this fire until it went out. And this fire lasted from noon until the break of the next day. That was the 45th day. The first book of Adam and Hawwah, Adam and Eve 1, chapter 44. Adam and Hawwah stood looking at the fire and were unable to come near the cave from their fear of the fire. And Satan kept on bringing trees and throwing them into the fire until the flames of the fire rose up very high and covered the entire cave, thinking in his mind to consume the cave with the great fire. But the messenger of Yahweh was guarding it. But he could not curse Satan nor wound him by word, because he had no authority over him, neither did he attempt to do so with words from his mouth. Therefore the messenger tolerated him without uttering a bad word against him, until the word of Elohim came to Satan, saying, "Go away from here at once before you deceive my servants, for this time you seek to destroy them. Were it not for my mercy, I would have destroyed you and your hosts from off the earth. But I have had patience with you until the end of the world." Then Satan fled from before Yahweh, but the fire went on burning around the cave like a coal fire the entire day. This was the 46th day that Adam and Hawwah had spent since they came out of the garden. And when Adam and Hawwah saw that the heat of the fire had began to cool down, they started to walk toward the cave to get into it as they usually did, but they could not because of the heat of the fire. Then they both began crying because the fire separated them from the cave, and the fire came toward them burning, and they were afraid. Then Adam said to Hawwah, "See this fire of which we have a portion within us. It formerly obeyed us, but it no longer does so now, for we have violated the boundaries of creation and changed our condition, and our nature has been altered. But the fire is not changed in its nature, nor altered from its creation. Therefore it now has power over us, and when we come near it, it scorches our flesh." The first book of Adam and Hawwah, Adam and Eve 1, chapter 45. Then Adam rose and prayed to Elohim, saying, "This fire has separated us from the cave in which you have commanded us to live, and now we cannot go into it." Then Elohim heard Adam and sent him his word that said, "Adam, see this fire. It is different from the flame and heat from the garden of delights and the good things in it. When you were under my control, all creatures yielded to you, but after you transgressed my commandment, they all rose up over you." Elohim said again to him, "Adam, see how Satan has exalted you. He has deprived you of the Almighty and of an exalted state like me, and has not kept his word to you, but has ended up to become your enemy. He is the one who made this fire in which he meant to burn you and Hawwah. Adam, why has he not kept his agreement with you even one day, but has deprived you of the esteem that was on you when you obeyed his command? Adam, do you think that he loved you when he made this agreement with you? Do you think that he loved you and wanted to raise you on high? No, Adam, he did not do anything out of love for you. He wished to force you to come out of light and into darkness, and from an exalted state to degradation, and from esteem to this humble state, from joy to sorrow, and from rest to hunger and fainting." Elohim also said to Adam, "See this fire kindled by Satan around your cave? See this curious thing that surrounds you? Know that it will surround both you and your descendants when you obey his command, and he will plague you with fire, and you will go down into Gehinnom after you are dead. Then you will experience the burning of his fire that will surround you and your descendants. You will not be delivered from it until my Bēn's coming, just as you cannot go into your cave right now because of the great fire around it. A way for you will not be made for you until my word comes on the day my covenant is fulfilled. There is no way for you at present to come from this life to rest until he who is my word comes. Then he will make a way for you, and you shall have rest." Then Elohim called to the fire that burned around the cave with his word, that it split itself in half until Adam passed through it. Then the fire parted itself by Elohim's order, and a way was made for Adam. And Elohim withdrew his word from Adam. The first book of Adam and Hawwah, Adam and Eve 1, chapter 46. Then Adam and Hawwah began to come into the cave, and when they came to the passage in the midst of the fire, Satan blew into the fire like a whirlwind and caused the burning coal fire to cover Adam and Hawwah, so that their bodies were singed and the coal fire burned their skin. Adam and Hawwah screamed from the burning of the fire and said, "O Yahweh, save us! Do not leave us to be consumed and plagued by this burning fire. Do not require us as the payment for having transgressed your commandment." Then Elohim looked at their bodies on which Satan had caused fire to burn. Elohim sent his messenger that held back the burning fire, but the wounds remained on their bodies. Then Elohim said to Adam, "See Satan's love for you. He pretended to give you the almighty and greatness, and now look, he burns you with fire and seeks to destroy you from off the earth. Then look at me, Adam. I created you, and how many times have I delivered you out of his hand? If not, wouldn't he have destroyed you?" Elohim spoke again, this time to Hawwah, and said, "He promised you in the garden, saying, 'As soon as you eat from the tree, your eyes will be opened, and you shall become like Elohim, knowing good and evil.' But look, he has burned your bodies with fire and has made you taste the taste of fire in exchange for the taste of the garden. He has made you see the burning of fire and the evil of it, and the power it has over you. Your eyes have seen the good he has taken from you, and in truth he has opened your eyes. You have seen the garden in which you were with me, and you have also seen the evil that has come over you from Satan. But as to the Almighty, he cannot give it to you, nor fulfill his promise to you. He was bitter against you and your descendants that will come after you." And Elohim withdrew his word from them. The first book of Adam and Hawwah, Adam and Eve 1, chapter 47. Then Adam and Hawwah came into the cave, still trembling because of the fire that had scorched them. So Adam said to Hawwah, "Look, in this world the fire burns our flesh. How will it be when we are dead and Satan shall punish our souls? Is not our deliverance far off unless Elohim comes in his mercy and fulfills his promise to us?" Then Adam and Hawwah stepped into the cave, berakah themselves for coming into it once more, for they thought that they would never enter it when they saw the fire around it. But as the sun was setting, the fire was still burning and coming closer to Adam and Hawwah in the cave so that they could not sleep in it. After the sunset, they went out of the cave. This was the 47th day after they came out of the garden. Adam and Hawwah then came under the top of hill by the garden to sleep as they were accustomed, and they stood and prayed Elohim to forgive them their sins, and they fell asleep under the top of the mountain. But Satan, the hater of all that is good, thought to himself, "Elohim has promised deliverance to Adam by covenants, and promised that he would deliver him from all the hardships that have befallen him. But Elohim has not promised me by covenant, and will not deliver me out of my hardships. He has promised Adam that he should make him and his descendants live in the reign that I once lived in. I will kill Adam. The earth shall be rid of him. The earth shall be left to me alone. When he is dead, he will not have any descendants left to inherit the reign, and it will remain my own realm. Elohim will then be wanting me, and he will restore it to me and my host." The first book of Adam and Hawwah, Adam and Eve 1, chapter 48. After this, Satan called to his hosts, all of which came to him, and said to him, "Our master, what will you do?" Then he said to them, "This Adam whom Elohim created out of the dust is the one who has taken our reign from us. Come, let us gather together and kill him, hurl a rock at him and at Hawwah, and crush them under it." When Satan's hosts heard these words, they came to the part of the mountain where Adam and Hawwah were asleep. Then Satan and his host took a huge rock, broad and smooth and without blemish. He thought to himself, "If there should be a hole in the rock, when it fell on them, the hole in the rock might align over them so that they would escape and not die." He then said to his hosts, "Take up this stone and drop it flat on them so that it doesn't roll off them to somewhere else. And when you have hurled it at them, get away from there quickly." And they did as he told them. But as the rock fell down from the mountain toward Adam and Hawwah, Elohim commanded the rock to become a covering over them so that it did them no harm. And so it was by Elohim's order. But when the rock fell, the whole earth quaked because of it, and was shaken from the size of the rock. And as it quaked and shook, Adam and Hawwah awoke from sleep and found themselves under a covering of rock. But they didn't know what had happened, because when they fell asleep, they were under the sky and not under a covering, and when they saw it, they were afraid. Then Adam said to Hawwah, "How has the mountain bent itself and the earth quaked and shaken on our account? And why has this rock spread itself over us like a tent? Does Elohim intend to plague us and to shut us up in this prison? Or will he close the earth over us? He is angry with us for our having come out of the cave without his permission, and for our having done so of our own accord without asking him when we left the cave and came to this place." Then Hawwah said, "Adam, if indeed the earth shook for our sake, and this rock formed a tent over us because of our transgression, we will be sorry, because our punishment will be long. But get up and pray to Elohim to let us know concerning this, and what this rock is that is spread over us like a tent." Then Adam stood up and prayed before Yahweh to let him know what had brought about this difficult time, and Adam stood praying like that until the morning. The first book of Adam and Hawwah, Adam and Eve 1, chapter 49. Then the word of Elohim came and said, "O Adam, who counseled you when you came out of the cave to come to this place?" And Adam said to Elohim, "Yahweh, we came to this place because of the heat of the fire that came over us inside the cave." Then Yahweh Elohim said to Adam, "Adam, you dread the heat of fire for one night, but how will it be when you live in Gehinnom? But Adam, do not be afraid, and do not believe that I have placed this covering of rock over you to plague you. It came from Satan, who had promised you the Almighty and Majesty. It is he who threw down this rock to kill you under it and Hawwah with you, and in this way to prevent you from living on the earth. But as that rock was falling down on you, I was merciful. I commanded it to form a tent over you, and the rock under you to lower itself. And this sign, O Adam, will happen to my Bēn at his coming on earth. Satan will raise the people of the Yahudim to put my Bēn to death, and they will lay him in a rock and seal a large stone over him, and he shall remain within that rock 3 days and 3 nights. But on the 3rd day he shall rise again, and it shall be deliverance to you, O Adam, and to your descendants, so that you will believe in me. But Adam, I will not bring you from under this rock until 3 days and 3 nights have passed." And Elohim withdrew his word from Adam. But Adam and Hawwah lived under the rock 3 days and 3 nights, as Elohim had told them. And Elohim did so to them because they had left their cave and had come to this same place without Elohim's permission. But after 3 days and 3 nights, Elohim created an opening in the covering of rock and allowed them to get out from under it. Their flesh was dried up, and their eyes and hearts were troubled from crying and sorrow.